following is a presentation of MRE Uno, Division 1.
Apocalyptic August nears its end here on MRA Uno Tournament 5 for D1, and we are down to our last three matches of both this tournament and the 2025 regular season. And one of the players left is the one who started it all with the Apocalypse, number 1 seed Vapor in his second straight Final Four, looking to make back-to-back finales. He takes on Haseem Acosta, who has had a crazy late season surge out of nowhere and suddenly has found himself in a potential contention to make Super League at the crack of midnight. But these two players go head to head, number 1 seed versus number 5 seed. Hello, I am G-Man. Let's get into it. This is the first of 2 Final Four matchups for you. But before we begin, let's take a look at both players' paths to get here. We start with Vapor, the number 1 overall seed, I believe the third number 1 overall seed who has made the Final Four before. I could be wrong on that, but Vapor, it's been a wave of momentum ever since Jackpot June. Started off with a bye, of course, since he won Jackpot June, and we don't have the 64 right now. Toxic 32 kicked things off, took out Brian, who made the regional finals in Tournament 4 in a very convincing fashion, and then Swarm 16, another convincing showing, took out Clay, who has been has some history with doing well in Tournament 5. It was not meant to be this time. Vapor got the job done, and once again, giving a lot of gentleman sweeps here for Vapor in this run. Took out Captain fighting for what could be his season. Ultimately, was not meant to be. Won the Explosive 8 and now goes into the Final Four for the second straight time, and only dropped 3 games so far. So we'll see if that trend of the gentleman sweep with the 1 game lost per match is going to continue. I'd be very surprised if it does, but we've seen weirder things, so we'll find out. But then we'll go to Haseem Acosta, and I want to mention this 18-8 number. Out of the Final Four, 3 of the 4 Final Four have an 18-8 record this tournament, so everyone besides Vapor kind of riding a similar path here. We'll start it with Acosta, and then we'll go into both Andy and Nam. We have that other Final Four matchup in 2 days on Saturday. Saturday, my mistake. Saturday. But for Acosta, start off close call, Radin 4-3. It was looking tight there. But managed to hang on. Ultimately, did not drop that one. That would have been detrimental to his Super League chances. Then Toxic 32, ultimately, a very, very close match, but got the edge over Yepes 4-3. Once again, Acosta barely hanging on. And then swept Larahu in the Swarm 16, which was a big win for Acosta. And then we move into the Explosive 8, where Brad finds his way through Brad in a 5-2 win. Explosive 8 was around with a lot of dominant lopsided games, but that was ironically the least lopsided, a 5-2 result. But Acosta getting the win over Brad and finds himself in his first career Final Four with a shot at potentially being in the Super League field. Would have not expected to say that back in like 2023, but Acosta has had quite the resurgence in these last few months. So he is locked and loaded, ready to get going. And I mean, a win here you would think almost guarantee him a spot, because you're beating a very high level player at the moment. with all the momentum on his side. But let's take a look at this bracket here. I mentioned before, Nam versus Andy is the other Final Four matchup. That'll be Saturday at 3 p.m. We'll give the floor to Not Short on that one when we get there, but we will be determining the first half of the Doomsday finale today, and it's going to be a good one. But again, after this, we're going to swing these over to the D2 side of things with the D2 LCQ finals here. I'm going to give you a quick bracket preview on that one. That is not the right bracket. Um, nope, it's not there. Let me see. Do I have it? I don't think I do. Oh well, I guess no bracket preview. But again, it's going to be kicking off with Not Short and Joe Allen, Not Short, number 2 versus number 4 in the A bracket, and then wrapping up the evening at 7 p.m. and then 9 p.m. in the evening, gonna wrap off with Ami and Evan, another 2v4 in the B bracket finals. So got a lot of action tonight here. We're starting off with the Apocalyptic August Final Four here, but let's go into the matchup preview before we begin. Number 6 versus number 22 in the Super League rankings. That is bound to change after this tournament. But Master versus Novice. We mentioned the tournament 5 game record. Career Final Four. There's not really much you could bank off this. Vapor with only one career Final Four before this, and that was last tournament. Acosta, first career Final Four appearance. He joins Andy in that category. Nam with the most Final Four experience, with this being his third, but he is 1-1 in this round. Vapor 1-0. Career accolades, of course, only a gold medal to Vapor's name. He looks to add a second there, whether it's gold, silver, or bronze, and then Acosta, of course, never made the Final Four, so no career accolades. CPU prediction has this being a 6-4 win for Vapor, but we have seen how this has gone. Ultimately, that's just a prediction, not going to be the actual outcome, but this is going to be a very intriguing match here as we go into this. It's going to be Bunker Regional Champion versus the Nuclear Regional Champion. We'll see who emerges on top here, but we'll jump into the stream. I am joined by, Vapor is not the master class. Vapor is a veterans class. My mistake. But anyways, besides that, we're joined by Yoshi here in the commentary booth. Welcome. We talked about this match a little bit yesterday. You were in for the first half of Vapor's Explosive 8 match. He's playing back-to-back days here for this tournament, but I mean, this is a very peculiar matchup for the Final Four. I think for Vapor, I don't want to assume anything because there's been a lot of interesting things going on behind the scenes, but Vapor has been on such a dominant streak and by far the player with the most wins this season, 14. Next closest is Tapir with 9 in the DQ wins, so very clear advantage for Vapor there with how dominant he's been. But then you have Acosta, who has been fighting from the under and has made it work, has found his way into the Final Four for the first time. Not very experienced with this best of 11 here, has never done one before, but your thoughts on the difference between these two players going into this, how that could affect it with Vapor on this long string of momentum here, and Acosta jumping in as the underdog once more and trying to shock the world here.
Oh yeah, I mean, talk about Acosta. I feel like ever since that T3 run, we kind of started to see that he's gonna be a player to watch out for. And yeah, he's been showing that ever since T3 he's not lost the first round after kind of on a streak of losing the first round a lot. But now, yeah, this is his best run yet. I mean, we didn't. I guess a lot of people didn't think he would make it this far, but at the same time, I mean, it feels like a long time coming, knowing just his strategy and how he's been able to kind of use it against players who maybe aren't familiar with it. It works out where it kind of gets players thinking a lot, maybe even overthinking, which is what Acosta wants. But his style, I mean, regardless of that style, he plays really well as well. So it's a good combination where Vapor has played it before in T4, but I mean that was a 4-2, which I mean even in that tournament that was probably one of the closer matches Vapor had. So I feel like it wouldn't surprise me if this ends up going Acosta's way, depending on how the cards play. But you know, Vapor streak. This is like a tournament of. This is like a momentum season for Vapor, right? he's been able to just get these streak of wins and hasn't lost in a long time. And that just comes off of just having that momentum um to keep winning these games, knowing when to strike, when to go aggressive, and when not to. And also with a little bit of luck on his side as well. It's just a lot of factors that are just working out for Vapor, and you know, with Acosta's style, I could see it potentially being stopped here, but obviously Vapor is still in a really good spot. I I think he just wants to keep pushing, see how much stronger of a case he can make, get a 2-0 record on Acosta, a style that he has said before that he doesn't really like. Um, and yeah, I mean, we'll see. He even in against the players he doesn't like the styles with, he's still able to come out on top. So we'll see if he can do it again. Acosta is definitely an intriguing player to play against.
All right, thank you, Yoshi. We will start with Vapor, who we have a pre-typed question for. We're gonna paste that right here. And I mean, again, Vapor playing in back-to-back days. Vapor, I talked to you yesterday about what would mean to break the D1 wins record. Now, a little more 30 hours later, I bring that same question, but shifted to the league, and that lose at number 15. This is your second straight Final Four, and you're looking to be only the third player in D1 history to make it back-to-back finales. Your thoughts on how you managed to get the job done with the field of players hungry for their first career tournament wins? Because again, Nam, Anti, Costa, none of them have ever won a tournament. Only one of them's ever made a finale before, so it's a field of players who are seeking a first career tournament win, but Vapor looking for a second straight. So we'll see what Vapor's thoughts are on that one. And while we're waiting for Vapor here, I'm gonna throw a question to Acosta here, who is stream watching. Acosta, this is your first career Final Four. You have been on the career resurgence here. I mentioned it in the write up. You started going into this season with a total series record of 1-8, and now suddenly you are a whopping come on, where is it? This thing keeps changing. You are a whopping 8-4 in the series record right now. So it's been an incredible turnaround. You make your first Final Four. Your thoughts going up against Vapor, who has the most wins this season and has been very dominant in the last few weeks. Your thoughts on what you do to be able to come out on top, win your first best of 11, make it to your very first finale. And then Costa's typing that here. Vapor has the answer. We'll read what Vapor has to say. I anticipate to continue playing the style that I've played since the beginning of June. Today, as a whole, outside of the league has been really weird for me and not in the best headspace today. But I plan on just hitting my head down and continuing to play my game, which is fair enough. Sometimes you just got to do that. Try to cancel all the outside distractions, whether good or bad. So I think for Vapor, even though it seems like a lot of stuff's going on today for him, gonna try to lock in and be focused on the end goal for this match.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned the players in the Final Four. None of them won a tournament, and it's a testament to how competitive this league is. I mean, I look at the Final Four in this tournament, and I'm not even surprised that all of them are this far in, with three of the four not having won a tournament yet. So, definitely, like showing this D1 is just ridiculous in competitiveness.
Yeah, I mean a lot of parity there. Um, can make the argument that every win is gonna count, especially with a field that has shown, especially this season, anyone can win. But again, we'll see what Acosta has to say on this. This has been an incredible last few months for him, and I mean, again, last three tournaments really have been he has been on fire because you look at the again, I mentioned 1-8 coming into 2025, but this season didn't start off strong, 2 round of 64 exits, but since then regional final in regional final run in Movie May, and then made the round of 32 in
Those-
in Jackpot June, but now in the Final Four once more. All right, here we go. And for Acosta's response, it's Vapor. I am already most likely in Super League. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. Played Vapor back in Tournament 3 now. I'm ready to slow it down and take my time in every move. He loves to go fast, however, I will just run my own pace. It's been a dream. It's been a dream year. Everyone could say, but there's been more to game before heading in the Super League. Let's have fun and duke it out. The scene, the dream is ready to roll. Can't wait. And basically, have all night. We go 10 rounds if you want. We do not have all night. We want to get the LCQ going, especially with someone from Portugal playing later tonight. But we'll get things rolling here for game number one. Vapor has the call since he is the higher seed. We'll see where he decides to go to start. And once again, just like yesterday, against
Classic.
open up with 14.
Also, Weber Acosta actually played in the last tournament. That's the tournament. So, Acosta losing to the tournament winner at that point. So, it definitely interesting story there where they played in the round of 32 last tournament, and Vapor ended up winning. Now they're playing in the final four. See how this plays out.
Yeah, just to quickly double check that one for the final four. That one ended in a 4-2 result in Vapor's favor.
Yeah.
Of course, can't end 4-2 this time, but we'll see what the scoreline's going to be for this one.
Okay. Yep, we start with the red switch early, which Vapor, as we know, pretty comfortable with these switches, and likes to put put that number up of how many switches can he get in a series. But now he runs out, not able to switch.
Alright, well, that's the first draw of the series, and it comes a little early. Vapor was at 11 cards, and runs out of red early, so not a lot of red in that initial draw.
Yeah, and we hear about the distractions and understanding how to keep your mind off of them. And I played a match against Lane where it definitely there were distractions all around. So it's definitely not easy to win with after like a day where just things aren't going your way. But sometimes if things don't go your way on the day, maybe Uno is the thing that brings you back. So it's a balance act.
Alright, well, yeah, I mean, again, Vapor just trying to keep things going on the green after he does the switch. Acosta had the double before, so again, he has a decently sized lead at the moment here. But
Oh,
Acosta's actually going to go into blue now.
yeah. So yeah, slowly going into these new colors, and I feel like if Vapor should have a decent idea of what Acosta has. I mean, but then again, he's such an interesting player that maybe he could have stuff saved, and well, there's a lot to think about. But um, Vapor on the back foot, but not necessarily doesn't necessarily mean doesn't have any ammo. There we go. That's the +2.
Alright, well, +2 there in the blue 7. So that's gonna throw Acosta back a bit to where it's now tied, but Acosta will have the possession arrow, so that gives a little life for Vapor at the moment, especially after that early draw on red. But we'll see how Acosta responds after that.
Yeah, Vapor really likes to take his time in terms of saving ammo. I feel like I kind of understand, like I've played him enough where, or like I've seen him and played him enough where I feel like he's got this style that uh it's kind of like a really interesting mix of defense and aggression, um where so far, I mean, it's been working. He hasn't lost since T3.
Ooh,
This
okay.
+2 right back.
So ultimately just kind of cancels it out and goes down to 6. Vapor back up to 10, and Vapor is drawing on blue, so now...
Ooh.
Ooh, this is not the best start for Vapor here
Hmm.
for this game one. It seems like the red was out before. Maybe could have gotten maybe one or two cards there, but the blue out
Mhm.
as well. So got a bit of a
Makes
color
me
struggle here at the moment.
It makes me think that he doesn't have any ammo, but at the end. But that's what maybe Vapor wants you to think. He's trying to maybe give Acosta a false sense of security, but we'll see. I mean, Vapor is a player where you don't really know what he has, even if he's drawing. So, but Acosta just playing. I mean, he hasn't drawn yet. He's been given a card, so on the +2. But other than that, just been able to. Yeah, there we go. There's the +6.
I was waiting for something there.
Yeah, you think about it with Vapor, needed something to just kind of reset a little bit. I think that +6 is gonna help. That puts him in the lead. That could ultimately give Acosta some ammo, but I think for Vapor, it's just about kind of preventing a potential finish there. Try to reevaluate where he goes from here, and maybe could just run this green a little. Maybe could run this green a little bit. We'll see.
What I'm
But
interested in, though, is if okay, well, if Acosta was able to go back into yellow, would Vapor be forced to draw there? Maybe he ran out of yellow and and that's why he decided to +6 right then and there instead of doing it immediately. So it's a little bit interesting. It could give Acosta something to think about, just to make sure Vapor doesn't get the win. Here's the test.
I could absolutely see a two color. Yeah, there you go. I didn't think Vapor was out on yellow. I think he might have a mix of both. Maybe there's a stray red in there somewhere, a bit from a draw, but I think for Vapor, his spot right now really depends on what his ammo cards are left. If he doesn't have any ammo cards left, I think he might be in a bit of trouble at the moment, unless he gets a fortunate break. But um, if he does have some ammo he's been holding on to for a while, might not be in a bad spot. We're just gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, I think with if you do not have ammo left, your best plan is to just have a hand, an unpredictable hand where you have, and just where like they make the wrong color switches and it gives you the win. That's really your only hope. I could see Vapor having nothing left, but maybe he does. It wouldn't be surprise me either if he does have like a wild or a +4. I don't know if we hold on, let me see. Yeah, we haven't seen any wilds or +4s yet. That is the thing to keep in mind. Acosta might be thinking about that as well, as in the sense that maybe he has ammo saved up as well.
Costa taking a second to think on this one again. Getting close to 7 minutes here. We were expecting this one to potentially be on the longer side of things. That might be what we get. Again, we got about maybe like 2 hours or so. So, um,
For sure.
Costa typing up here. Maybe a run potentially. I've seen him typing up for a little bit.
Ooh, yeah, I could see that.
There's
Three
your
cards is
run.
scary. Oh,
All right.
it's only a
So,
+2.
well, we are
The
back to
quad there.
green. Uh, and Acosta
Oh,
ended off with the Vapor Zone card as well.
yeah. Okay, now I'm interested though because Vapor just played a green 3, which maybe he wanted this color switch because of the fact that he played the last card he played was the yellow 3. So Acosta might have to take that into account, but maybe he just has the finish here. Wouldn't actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
that'll do it.
okay, there it is.
747. So, Costa or 748. Costa gets gonna go up 1-0 there. For Vapor, was there potentially a pass to the finish there? Didn't have ammo to counteract it. All right. Nope.
Mm.
All right. So for Vapor, just kind of ran out there. Costa just kind of doing the 1-2 there, and closing that one out. Yeah, I guess for Acosta, was that +4 held from the start, um, or was it picked up along the way? And just kind of your thoughts on that game, especially with the +6 in the middle of it, the 3 back of it.
Yeah, Vapor. I'm guessing the +6 was just kind of like a Hail Mary, thinking that he would be have a finish.
Could have been the case there. We'll see what Acosta has to say there, but it is game one, and Acosta
Yeah,
opens
yeah.
up the scoring. Does need to win 6 though. Man, best of 11. Double
Double
+2
plus
game.
two.
Okay,
Okay. So
simple
yeah,
enough.
Acosta to get the +4 off that, which seems pretty useful. But then again, he did have a lot of ammo beside that anyway. So I'm not sure how that. I do think it was a good idea either way, though. Kind of a tough situation there for Vapor.
Look at this. I think Acosta had some decent connections on the numbers as well. You see him ended with the red 6, had the green 6 as well. So some decent connectivity on the numbers. 3 6s on 3 different colors, so had that going for him. But yeah, Acosta's going to open up the scoring here, but we'll jump to game number 2.
Yeah, no,
What do
there
you
wasn't
think
a
there?
question to you. I was just mentioning something. So yeah, we can move on. Uh,
Now you're good, don't worry.
yeah, you're good.
All right, so Vapor's actually gonna try 14 again here. We'll see if this works again for the homestand. It's gonna be the first 3 games. So Vapor's gonna have another homestand after this. I am curious if this doesn't work, then I'm wondering if you'll maybe reconsider. Um, but because we've seen how
Let me see.
sometimes kind of staying resilient um, on one start can bite you. We saw that with Captain this season. Especially in this tournament, he won 1 for 6 in 5 card starts in his last 2 matches. But um,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a mixed bag. The thing with keep in mind though, this is the exact thing that Vapor did against Captain, where he lost game 1, but then went back to 14 game 2. It ended up kind of cruising after that. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here. But oh, okay, Vapor drawing early. But gets back to blue. Okay. Does Acosta try and undercut this?
ooh,
Oh, yeah, there it is.
had the card efficiency there, but Vapor has the crossover back to yellow.
Okay.
So that's the first time we see yellow this game.
Yeah, I'm curious now. Does
Well,
you know?
he doesn't have a third red 3.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, for sure.
but
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Now he's kind of trying to mix things up here. Um, I was thinking like, would it potentially be an idea for Acosta to just go for a wild red,
ooh,
um,
wait a second.
just to force an early draw from Vapor. But regardless, we're seeing an
Well,
interesting game here.
I don't think it's guaranteed that Costa's out on or not Costa that Vapor's out. Actually no, he drew before. I mean, he could have like ammo. Maybe he just wants to save that. I mean, there's your switch to the
True.
red. And
Oh,
Vapor again crossing it over.
he's clearly
Um,
trying to avoid this red, which might be it's possible that it's a bait, but that would be kind of a crazy bait.
I mean, he drew before, so I get where you're coming from. I wouldn't rule it out that he has maybe like some kind of like ammo. Like he could have like
Ammo,
he could have
yeah.
like a backdoor exit from red in a way with like a skip or reverse run, but
Yeah, that's
um.
the thing with drawing on a color that doesn't like they could just be saving ammo for like a chain. That's always a possibility. But it's
Mhm.
Kakasa with the +2 trying to get the lead once again.
Keeps going, yellow 0. And then wow, okay, actually a bigger gap than I thought. 6-10 here at the moment. It also looking to bring it down to 5.
Yeah, this could also be another game where Vapor just is struggling to get much ammo. I could also see that. I feel like the way he's playing, I feel like he'd be a little bit more aggressive uh by now.
Yellow reverse, yellow 8.
Yeah, let's see. Acosta, we haven't seen a green yet, and that could be I could be jinxing it here. Um, but I feel like we're on this yellow, and you think we're gonna switch. Oh wow, he has more red, but Vapor goes in the green. Okay. See, when's the point where you want to avoid red? Because Acosta is like that doesn't like Acosta's getting rid of a lot of of a decent amount of reds, which could mean that he might also not want red at this point.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, Vapor's had the switch off on red every single time, but technically for Acosta with these red switches, he's slowly kind of getting rid of
Mm.
those reds, so it's ultimately working out for him so far, but a +2 is going to tie things up at 5-5.
That was a good save. Yeah, if you go for a switch on into a new color, you had to have something there. Um, so yeah, we'll see if that +2 helps or makes things more difficult. Because we've seen the story where plus 2s are just giving players ammo, and it's not like it's a specific trend or anything. It's just something we've seen a couple times. Oh,
Ooh,
okay.
wild
He's got a
yellow.
wild.
There's your wild right there. Um, goes into yellow. We'll see if Costa has a response. It's gonna be a green
Oh,
wild,
okay.
which I think is the right move there, especially if he has his Vapors out on green.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean
No.
that plus two ultimately was the last two cards Vapor had on green there, so he kind of ran himself dry there, and ultimately with no other wild to throw out there, kind of just trapped him in a corner.
Let's
But
see. Does he have the 9? Or potentially the top deck might come into favor. No, okay.
it's a
Well,
well,
just a
he did get a
reverse.
top deck. It's just green reverse, gonna leave it open.
That might actually help, assuming Acosta had like a number efficiency into Uno, but we'll see.
That would suck. That is gonna suck though if there's a reverse on the board. Well, it's not gonna
Oh,
matter. Green
okay.
one Uno
Hold on.
draws.
Let's see.
Does
Is
Costa
this
have all
game?
green? Nope, number efficiency.
Oh,
There you
there's the
go.
number efficiency.
All right, so 2-0 Acosta there. That one a little shorter, 544. Um, Vapor not feeling too confident early on here, but the double 14 does not work right now. But again, not the start Vapor was hoping for here. Um, yeah, I mean I'll go to Acosta first. Definitely we're trying to get that red switch quite a bit, but ultimately you had the okay.
My God.
Ultimately, you kind of slowly drained those reds out, and then was able to finish on green with the number efficiency. But I guess your thoughts on that game and just kind of the series so far. I mean, you're up 2-0. You're looking pretty good. Vapor still has another home game to go, but your thoughts on trying to make this 3-0 at the moment. And then for Vapor, I know head hurts, not looking great, but your thoughts on what you try to do game 3 here, or if any adjustments come your way to try and at least salvage something from this homestand. Playing out his mind like a Final Four player. Just can't get anything to happen.
Oh
For cost,
my God.
feel pretty good so far in the series. When they were through a +2 of me, gave me the wild and another green one. I've had really weird ammo, and he has good ammo. I mean, we're seeing it there though. It's the ammo that Vapor's dishing out ultimately is giving Acosta stuff he needs. Because I mean, that green one helped him get the switch to blue. So
Yeah, I think this is kind of showing that this series is, both of these players have been getting a lot of ammo in the previous matches, but now we're seeing like a little bit less than they usually are used to. Uh, so Vapor has trying to figure out how to adjust to that. It's not like they're not getting any, but they're just only getting so little, and it's like, how do I
it's
go about this?
I mean, it's actually like there's not a single category that's like beyond the board. I mean, Acosta's gonna have the advantage, of course, with the single +4 right now. But I mean, look at this: 1-1 wilds, 4-4 +2s, 3-3 reverses, and then 1-0 skips, and then the first 1-0 +4s. Vapor with the one skip of the series. It's interesting to see that because I don't think this has really been a series that's been dictated by ammo, but more or less connections, per se. Um, but yeah, I mean, Vapor just said that right there.
Hmm,
But
that
all
makes
right,
sense. Yeah.
all right. Well, game 3, Vapor's last call for his first homestand, looking to get one on the board. He's tried 14
Hmm.
twice, did not work out. We'll see if he's gonna go for 14 again. I don't love this call. I don't love it, but Red Nine's gotta open.
Yeah, we'll see if it does. Because if it doesn't, this could be pretty rough because you give Acosta, uh, you get
This
you.
is the thing. I don't like the call to go 14. It's already not worked twice. We have seen this in the prior round. We saw this in his prior opponent going back to a same hands card start with expecting a different result and getting the same thing, just not working out. I don't love this from Vapor here, but again, he's gonna just try to make it work here. Red 7 opens. Acosta, we'll see where he starts. Red 1. All right.
Yeah,
So keep the train of 1s.
yeah. The other issue with the constantly picking the same card is that when it goes to the opponent's homestand, they have more cards to pick. Card starts to pick, so it's not. It's more of like a. It's not as significant, but it is something where Akasa can be more free to kind of like pick what he wants.
I mean, absolutely, because if Acosta wins, I mean, no matter what, even if Acosta does not win this one, the only one he's restricted to is 14. So if he goes 3-0 up, that's technically, he's got 9 other options. He just wouldn't be able to pick 14, but that's still a very open board with that big of a lead in the games.
Yeah. As Vapor gets the first switch of the game, and Acosta goes for one as well.
I mean, I would think this isn't gonna turn out bad at the moment for anyone so far, because I mean, again, you'd think it's 14, but I mean, again, Vapor going with the switch off red once again. We saw him not have a lot of red in game 2. I have to wonder if this could ultimately be a similar thing, but it's not gonna matter at the moment. We are still on green.
It could come down to who draws first, where that kind of starts to reveal what their hand is looking like. I've said this a lot in commentating matches, but I do think it is interesting where we see that first draw and how the player responds to that.
I'm gonna
But
mention
maybe
this
we don't
also.
know that.
It's sorry to cut you off, but it's 7-0 in the self draws. Acosta has not had a single self draw yet this series. Every single card
Oh my
he's been
god.
given has come from ammo.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. That is kind of crazy. Technically plan A then, I mean, despite the getting some cards, the cards he's been getting from those plus twos have actually helped him more than anything. So,
Yeah, I mean, plan A with some detours here and there, but again, right now we're just kind of riding full plan A without any detours for both players at the moment. We are running blue. It is 7-8. Might get our first taste of ammo here with Acosta typing it up. Nope. All right, we are still ammo free so far through 8 turns.
yeah, best of 11 does feel pretty long, even compared to a best of 9, because having to win 6 games is almost like a best of 7. It could just be as long as a best of 7. So, um, and that's if you sweep. So it's still definitely a long way to go.
I mean, finale's gonna be best of 13 because this is a major. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you talk about long. That one's gonna be even longer. But all right, first
As
wild,
they
and it's gonna
ooh,
first ammo card. It's gonna be a wild. Goes into green, and Vapor's gonna have none of that. Uses a 3-card switch into red, and here comes the ammo.
pretty much trying to avoid that green. Now, seeing how Acosta responds to that, can he play on red, or is he gonna try and throw out another piece of ammo that he has? Oh,
Another green.
okay.
Got the switch
He just
there.
had the 8.
All cross over the
Oh, okay.
blue.
Yeah, that was
Vapor
good from
avoiding
Vapor, accounting for that.
Vapor avoiding the green like the plague. But now what does it cost to do here? Because he's been foiled from his green twice now.
Yeah, I'm curious. Does he have ammo still, or um, I guess he would, because otherwise he'd just be drawing at this point. Um, and then yeah, thinking about what does Vapor have, because he said at the beginning of the game that he doesn't have much, or probably just the same hand. But that doesn't. But I still feel like he could just have something in these last 2 cards. So
I mean,
Akasa got
I
to
think
think here.
I think for Acosta here, I think he could have something, but ultimately could spoil his run. Yeah, there you go. I think he wanted to save
Okay.
that to the end there, but didn't feel safe. Gonna use the +4 to go into green and gets denied from the green again.
Yeah, that makes sense. Uh, see, I don't know what Acosta does here. He keeps not getting the green.
Acosta's gonna
Oh
power
my.
play. Is he
It,
still?
it,
Is he
it's
going
pretty
to
high.
get 4 straight switches in the green here?
Don't tell me. Oh no,
Yellow
it's a yellow
9.
9. Oh, this could be like yeah, a double with the
Is it
it's
going to
gonna yeah, it's gonna
yellow?
be like a skip or +2 chain into green probably.
Wow.
Oh
All
no,
right.
actually?
So this is kind of a similar thing with the red, where he got those switches and that kind of just slowly drained it. Vapor a little frustrated there. We apologize for the language, but um, yeah, I mean that was kind of similar to game 2 in a way, where Acosta going for one color ultimately just slowly drained it out, and then just kind of found his way. Ultimately, Vapor um didn't quite get what he was hoping for there with the switch to red, because then Costa had to cross over to yellow, and ultimately Costa takes that one. And yeah,
Oh
I
my
mean
god.
that's gonna be,
Wait.
yeah, it's gonna be quite the interesting series here, because it's now 3-0 here. Vapor has lost 3 games on 14. But I mean, Acosta, that's a home sweep for you. You take the home stand now. Your thoughts on the good start here, and just generally being able to take advantage of the switches, because I think that's been the
Yes.
biggest thing for Acosta so far.
Yeah, wait, so Vapor, you had that wild as one of your last cards. Just to make sure that you if he didn't power play, you could have done something. The last two, yeah, okay. Yeah, no, so yeah, his power play was correct. Um in that sense. But then the +4, yeah. y- Fair enough. Yeah, I gotcha. Okay. So yeah, no, Acosta sensing that pretty well and very interesting game, as I said.
I mean, it's been good game awareness from Acosta, and this is kind of really surprising because this is not something we've really seen from Acosta before. So, I mean, something has just clicked in these last few months, and he's just been able to really just roll with it. So I'm very impressed from Acosta. This is some of the best Uno he's been playing in his career, but he's now
Yeah,
up
no.
3-0 and taking going up to game 4, and he has possession arrow, so it's a lot of momentum on his side at the moment.
Yeah, that is crazy. Like he was trying to yeah, like sensing giving Vapor the idea that he's just gonna need green and not thinking he needed number efficiency on a different color. So yeah, that was definitely smart. I definitely didn't see that coming.
All right, well, gonna be game number 4 here. Acosta's gonna have the call, just can't pick 14. We'll see if he tries to stay with it high or maybe goes somewhere else, but
Yeah, I'm curious. Does he go with okay, 12.
alright, let's
Just kind of going what he likes, I think.
a little lower. Alright, green 3. I'll open it up. We'll see if we get a momentum shift here. Vapor very desperately needs it, because you do not want to go down 4-0. Um, but
Yeah, Vapor is not I mean, Vapor has had to make comebacks before. This is kind of different though because you're in a best of 11 and it's going to be a lot harder to come back, let's say if you're down 5-0, but obviously but still being down 3-0 honestly isn't yeah, it could be a lot worse. It's very possible that Vapor can find his footing on Acosta's homestand and make it a 3-3. And then there's really still a lot of Uno to go after that if that happens.
alright, well, yellow 1 there, and again, just another game where we open up with the numbers here. I still think Acosta has 0 self draws on the series so far, so he's just kind
Yeah,
of
that
making
is
that work.
true. My God.
I don't think there was a single self draw in that last game though.
We saw
Um,
this there was a game that I don't remember where we had this similar thing where a player didn't self draw until like the fifth or sixth game. It was kind of wild, but this is a completely different game.
Well, green 3, green 8. Yeah, again, just kind of rolling through the numbers once again. This is kind of a similar start of the game we have seen in most of these, where we just kind of roll through the numbers here. But so far, we've only seen 2 colors here, and
Okay.
that's green and yellow.
The back and forth, Vapor runs out. So now it just gives Acosta an opportunity once again to potentially get some number efficiency or just run down the yellows. Wow, double play. The same double play. He's not the first time I've seen this double play actually in this series.
And another
It,
draw from Vapor, and I mean, for Vapor, you gotta wonder if this is just kind of starting to get frustrating here.
yeah, it could be the whiplash after this run of
Well,
getting the
admits
whiplash
it.
of this run of being so dominant and now just everything crashing and burning.
Yeah, again, I mean, even if this does end here today, he still has the most wins in D1. Won't get the league record because again, that's gonna be a tie. Ironically, both this season because My Hill with 14 wins in D2, and then Vapor 14 wins here. So league record is still gonna remain tied, if he does not get the win here. But I mean, Vapor again, just trying to find a light at the end of this game here. But there's your light. That's the first draw from
Ooh.
Acosta.
That was a big risk because we have not seen blue all game, and he just takes the risk and actually gonna pay off here.
Self ditto. That's gonna force another draw unless he gets a top deck. Um, and this is what Vapor needed. We were talking about how it was looking dreary, but suddenly all it takes is just one draw. And gets it technically off a switch to blue, and that is wow. And Vapor has suddenly changed the momentum and changed the narrative in his favor. Double plus
Okay,
4.
wow.
Wow. Okay. I guess he just wanted to get rid of some of those blues there. But ultimately Vapor is on the board now finally. Um, yeah. Wow. Okay. So it was looking dreary for Vapor. But finally found it through 3 draws. And that's all it took. Vapor, I mean, what your thoughts on what that win could mean to shift the momentum on your side here? Um, and just kind of where you go from here out now that you're on the board. Also, no
What
sweep, so
did
that's good.
yeah, what did Acosta have left? Because to me, I would have guessed he needed blue left, but it turns out that he actually needed something else. Like, what were the last 2 cards before you drew? Is what I mean.
Yeah, we'll see what Costa had left. Blue plus 2. I mean, he
Oh
had
yeah,
another. If
not
he
a
had another,
connector.
no connector, I'm assuming. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
mean, he wouldn't have been able to finish. So,
Okay, that makes sense.
well,
Yeah, I don't think that would have changed anything with the double plus 4 on Vapor's hand. So
Vapor did spend a long time holding on to that. That ultimately could have blown up if Costa had like a plus 4 to end it or something like that. But
that would have been crazy.
um, yeah, banked on getting the blue switch and found it. So at the end of the day, Vapor gets some life back into his system here in this series because it was not looking good. But we'll see where he goes from on this one. Game 5 is gonna go to Acosta's call now. Still just can't pick 14, so it's still a pretty open range here.
Yeah, I mean, does he? Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think he's gonna do do what Vapor did and go back to 12. Gonna try something different here.
Alright, well, blue 8. That will be the call. That will be the start on this one. But again, we are slowly crawling into the lower territory here. So now we're at the true midpoint when it comes to the range.
Yeah, we'll see how this ends up, I think, for Acosta. You know, I think you've got this momentum. You don't want to lose it. Uh, we'll see if he can get a fourth win before Vapor ties it up. Um, that's the thing that Acosta has to think about, I feel like.
Yep. Well, yellow 5 is this first switch. And that actually comes off Acosta doing a double to start off. And now we're gonna see some crossovers here. And
Oh my,
Vapor's actually gonna
okay.
be fine with it. Gets a ditto. Curtis. Ooh, again, Curtis had a season best run in Apocalyptic August, round of 16, but ultimately wasn't able to do much more than that. But for Ghost, red 1 there, and there's another switch from Vapor.
Okay.
We have seen a mix
We
of switches.
saw
Vapor is in the slight lead at the moment for the switches, but I think it's kind of slowly getting back to being tied. I think it's now 22 to 21, something, or actually no, I think it's 21 to 20 now. Something like that. But yeah, now we go in the
so
green. I think for both looking for that draw as we kind of explore the deck. Vapor's gonna have the number efficiency, the card efficiency there, and goes back into yellow. Does Acosta have either another one or can he play yellow?
yeah, I mean, based on what Acosta's done, you would think he doesn't have yellow, but that's just on paper. We're gonna see what happens here. He did have the yellow saved with the +2.
That could throw Vapor off a little bit here, but he's gonna cancel out that +2, but still behind.
And then that's Acosta's card right there as well. Let's see if that leads into anything.
Well, it leads
Oh,
to a
it leads
ditto,
into a ditto.
and it leads into a switch, but
Ooh.
is that what Acosta wanted, maybe?
Yeah,
So we've
it's
seen
this
how
it's
this...
hard to tell. We don't know.
No,
Okay,
it
yeah.
isn't.
So red not what he was looking for, but Vapor also runs out. So maybe kind of thought that we were due for a draw city. I'm weak on this color. Maybe he'll be weak on this color as well, and just ended up getting that read. So we'll see how this draw city goes. Doesn't last too long with the red 8.
Well, no, that's only a break, because we still might be in it. It doesn't really end until we get the color switch. Well, speaking of the color switch, there it is. So it is over now.
Vapor is in the lead as well. Oh,
If Acosta wants it
but
to keep going, that's
incredible.
I respect that play. That's something I like doing. So, Acosta wanted to keep it going.
Yeah, if you don't feel safe, you feel like the player could win on the color they're switching into, might as well just go back into that draw city.
All right, well, Draw City keeps on going, so we thought we were out of it, but we are not. We are still going. Yeah, but now both players just trying to find something here. This is the first Draw City of the series, and that definitely
Yeah.
slows things down a bit. I think, again, with Vapor, wanted to take that risk and try to get a Draw City going because he saw I didn't have much after that red 9, but I think now, after a while, looking to resume the game.
It's another one. Have seen a lot of those, and
Alright,
they just keep coming.
another blue switch. Do
I
we
mean, there's
stick with
no
it
red
this time?
ones, so
I guess the question is, do we stick with it or do we get another color switch here?
yeah, I'm
Also taking a
interested
second.
here because Acosta's been, I don't know. He's been playing the game. Vapor starting to find uh the weaknesses in his hand, and now Acosta has to figure out how do I play against that. Um, because he's been doing well trying to like confuse Vapor, trying to not draw, and just get him thinking. But now we're seeing, now he's got the advantage. How can Acosta fight back here? Maybe just trying to keep it blue and hope for Vapor to draw. There's a lot to think about when we get out of draw city and we just see running down another color. It's tough.
Well,
Okay, he goes for a switch into green. Definitely a risk.
well, that risk is gonna put
Okay.
him down put him down closer to the finish.
Yeah, so now I have to think about why Costa did this. Is he just banking on Vapor not having the finish? Does he have another run? Uh
Actually, ironically, the Vapor might have wanted to switch anyways because he played a blue 9 before this.
yeah, that was the concern. But then again, Acosta might have had to just draw anyway, which assuming, maybe he ran out of blue and he just wanted to switch into green, so he didn't have to draw. And even then, it would have went to green anyway. So
Green 5 gets the Uno on the
okay,
green 2, 6:30 on the clock. We've kind of kept the same length of these games so far.
hmm. So now, yeah, I mean, Acosta is just gotta hope that maybe. I mean, I don't know what he has left, but what do you like? What do you do here? That's the thing. Like, unless you have the run, uh, you gotta think about this one.
Gonna just stick
Okay.
with green, and ultimately will not pay
Hmm.
off. So, yeah. So okay, Vapor now 2 on the board, and suddenly we're looking at maybe a home-sided series. We'll see, but.
Yeah.
Vapor, that's 2 on the board. You were able to run green to the end there, so ultimately that green switch did pay off. Your thoughts on that one? Trick one considered power
Yeah,
play.
that's true. He could have done power play for sure.
Confident in the double green too. Oh yeah, that is true. Had double green too, so was safe unless there was a wild or ammo.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's that's fair. Yeah, because assuming he had numbers left, there wasn't much he could do. Um, but yeah, I'm curious. Acosta going for that switch into green. Was it just kind of you were hoping for a draw, um, and or was it just kind of waiting for the yeah, I mean, it's probably waiting for the draw because I don't really numbers, okay. So yeah, just was trying to work with the numbers, so but they didn't line up, and he didn't really have the opportunity to use it to his advantage because Vapor was ahead in terms of having less cards. So at that point, in the race to the finish, Vapor was already pretty far ahead, so there's not much he could do.
Right, yeah, for Acosta, numbers didn't line up. I mean Acosta, this his homestand's kind of looking um eerily similar in terms of the actual final count to what the Vapor's first homestand is. Anything you feel you do to try and flip the script a little bit to get this game 6 win here, make it 4-2 rather than a tied game and forcing it to pretty much a what would be a best of 5 at this point. Yeah, but yeah, really, I don't. This has been an unpredictable series so far with how this has started out because at one point it looked like Acosta was going to steamroll his way through this, but Vapor has found some momentum back on his side to put himself back in this game.
Yeah, that's kind of what Vapor does. I mean, you think he can be in trouble, and then he just brings it back. So, um, this game 6 is gonna matter to me because I feel like this, yeah, when in a tie game now you start to you start to be at risk of overthinking. when you were at such a pretty big lead, but um, but then if you get that fourth game win, it can lead Vapor in a spin where of how is he gonna have to he kind of needs to get the try and bring it back to even. It's kind of like a interesting situation, but I think this game six is gonna matter a lot.
Well, for Costa says he's playing catch up in game 5, but game 6 he's gonna go back up the chart to 13 here. Not like in the lower, so gonna try to go back similar to that high tier. And okay, it opens up with red reverse, so opportunity for an early run.
Yeah, this it's definitely interesting. Yeah, no, Acosta going 13. I mean, I there's not much to say there. It I think you just may as well try it because you've been winning on 14. I think
Gonna take a
Vapor,
second.
and I think for Vapor, we see that he's trying to keep hold of this power play advantage. We saw he could have used it in that game 5, but now knowing that he's behind, uh, but has power play, he wants that power play advantage to at least have an advantage in something. So yeah, definitely an interesting kind of like mindset here as they run down the Reds.
Alright, well, again, just kind of trying to go through the early motions here. Once again, this time we're staying with red. And there's our first switch. It's going to be a 3-card switch to green.
Okay, so Vapor just trying to, just go for these aggressive switches, knowing that unless Acosta has a lot of red, we're not likely he'll switch back into it. But
Oh,
oh,
another
hold
one.
on, we got another 3-card run for Vapor.
Vapor suddenly was tied with Acosta and now suddenly has a 4.5 card lead. Actually,
I
no, three
think
and a
this
half.
is the
Sorry.
kind of I think he's starting to get the hands he likes again. I feel like,
Oh,
yeah.
he is definitely getting the hands he likes here. Wild yellow. He is going switch galore with the ammo.
I mean, I don't know what Acosta can do at this point. He's basically Vapor's basically kind of giving away everything he wants to do. It's just a matter of can Acosta do anything?
Well, again, we have not seen yellow yet so far. That's the only card we have not seen. I think for Acosta, you're gonna have to think about this. I mean, if he has ammo, he might be forced to use it here, but also could just take maybe a bit of a take a risk here, just kind of wait and see what happens, because ultimately it could just be run the numbers and then maybe Vapor just wants to run yellow to the end. All right, so gonna use some
Alright.
ammo here, gonna get the switch to green, and that's gonna force Vapor to draw here.
Ooh.
So does not quite have the run there, but the green is going to stall him out for a bit.
Now Vapor has to just find that opening, as he said. He was looking for in game 4. Oh well, okay, we're just gonna do Draw City instead. Yeah, more of a defense from Acosta there, which makes sense because I mean you would think he's gonna win on yellow at that point, or have a yellow go for a yellow and then switch into another color. So maybe it was on a 2-color strat at that point. Oh well, here we go. We go into yellow now.
Not locked in the yellow yet. Could see us switch into a different color, but Vapor looking for that yellow here. All right,
I
we
could
are
see,
gonna
yeah.
stick
I
with
mean,
it.
Acosta's probably gonna have something, but the thing is, Vapor, yeah, Vapor might be able to get something going here. Wouldn't be surprised if this is the finish.
He did draw a bit, so might have gotten his hand a bit scruffled. But Vapor feeling confident that Acosta might have the finish here.
Uh, okay. Well, it is your turn.
It is your turn, yes.
Okay.
But Vapor feeling not too confident about his chances.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. So, yeah. Yeah, now this is the 50-50, right? If you one the wrong move could end up uh being the difference. So just gonna take the safe approach and goes for the +4.
I had a feeling Vapor had a +4 there. Just kind of holding on to it. Didn't want to just use the +4 to go in the yellow again after Costa had to switch to green earlier. But yeah, I mean, Vapor was really not feeling great about that one. But went for ultimately a safe option.
Interesting. So I do want to point out we haven't seen any +2s yet. Do you think one of these players are saving the +2s? Both
Ditto.
gonna ditto, gonna continue the yellows here. Costa's just gonna run the yellow.
I,
See
I
if
almost
Vapor
did
has.
I almost did the ditto reaction for yellow too for some reason. I have no idea why, but Vapor gets the Uno.
Okay, so gets to Uno on the yellow 9, which I see now. Now it costs us to think: does he have yellow again, or does he not have yellow?
I mean,
Not sure how
does
much control he has on what he could play here, but
I mean, does this become a situation also where Acosta may have to use ammo that he wanted to save for later, or does he like take a risk here and just try to ice it out and then be able to save that for a finish? I mean, that's really the decision making on this one. Because I mean, if you
mhm,
use something like a +4, if you're holding on to, like, sure, that saves the game for now, but like that could really mess up your finish. Or you could take the
that's
risk, go
true.
for
Yeah,
a number ice, and keep that path very well and alive.
yeah. I mean, it's no telling. Okay, blue wild. Phew,
That's a little risky. It's gonna pay
it
off.
does work. I mean, yeah. I think he just have to. I don't know. You had to expect that maybe he didn't have. He probably either had yellow or. I mean, yellow was to me the most likely thing he had. Green would have
I
been the
mean, with
safest,
the,
but Acosta going for the tactical risks.
I mean, the way this is going out, I'm wondering if maybe Acosta did not have that finish there earlier, and maybe Vapor's second guessing himself on using that +4 there. Um, yeah, but Acosta
Mm,
down to 2, looking to maybe finish it, but I mean, I could see a draw also.
yeah, that's also true. We've seen Acosta
I
do
would think he
that.
has the I would think he either has the finisher or Uno based off the way he's typing. Um,
Let's see.
it's check,
Oh my, he
so
has
it's
two wilds. All right,
wow,
Vapor with the
Vapor saves it.
+2.
So Vapor's still alive, but no more red.
Wow.
How does that
Well,
foil
we'll
Acosta
see.
though?
He's gonna play something. It's just what does he play here, and what are the cards that he got off that +2?
Alright, well,
Okay,
red
the red
9.
9.
That might have been his finish.
I would
Um,
think so, but let's see. Does Acosta keep going?
nope.
No.
Alright, so Vapor gets fortunate there. The +2 gives Acosta 2 non-red cards and 2 non-linking cards as well. So now we're in a draw city with someone hoping for a fortunate top deck here.
Yeah,
And
oh
Acosta might
wow.
have
Okay.
Acosta.
Uh,
To,
oh
it's
yeah,
hard to
maybe he
tell.
did get the +2. That would be kind of crazy if he did.
No, I think that was a top deck. I think it's hard to tell. Okay, no, now it's not hard to
Yeah,
tell.
okay, fair enough.
No more blue, and now suddenly we're down to a 2-color game, which I don't think favors Vapor at the moment here, unless we keep this draw city going, and he can maybe flip the script. Well, technically now he
Well,
takes the
he
lead, so
actually
actually
has the lead now.
I was saying it wasn't going to be favorable for him. It's that's not a great draw because that's oh man, that's 3 draws on 3 different colors for Acosta.
Oh,
Goes
okay.
back to red. He's trying to force another
Big.
draw city most likely.
Yeah, that's what you need there for Acosta. Just, I mean, now, yeah, it's about playing defense. Not seeing much ammo at this point. We
I
never
think
know.
Vape.
Maybe it could be saving like one ammo, like one wild or +4.
I mean, the big thing now is I think Vapor knows the danger color. Um, and there it is, yellow. So we'll see what Vapor has here. Vapor has nothing, and this
Oh,
is
oh
looking to
boy.
be very problematic here. Now I have no idea what Vapor has because he has been drawing a lot all over.
Yeah, this is like a wrong color at the wrong time type of situation. You'd think Acosta would be able to run with this yellow, but I don't know at this point.
Ultimately, this might actually I'm looking at this might be a two-color war here. So this is really just both playing Battleship in a way, not making sure to step
Interesting.
on the wrong
Okay,
one.
+2. I mean, that could have gave Vapor
Ooh.
something. Okay, goes into blue.
Um, Again, this blue and red, I feel like you're just kind of like no man's land at the moment. Acosta is typing here.
Let's see,
And
+4.
oh, that's a
No.
fatal
Oh my.
switch. Wow, okay. So found the draws when he needed them at some point because I know Acosta drew at blue at some point in there. But
Yeah, I guess when I was referring to he did get blues, he ended up getting blues towards the end of that atrocity, not during the time that I mentioned it, but yeah. That's tough. It's funny because
ooh,
I feel like I've been in a similar situation before. Um, uh,
it's a little unfortunate for Vapor there because that was ultimately one of those 50-50s he loses there. And ultimately later on it costs him. So that's unfortunate for Vapor.
yeah, I
Um,
see. This kind of reminds me of that a game 7 I had with Acosta where we were both like, yeah, we were both mostly like stuck on like numbers and stuff. And Acosta's actually, I feel like he's one of the better players when it comes to like a numbers game where uh he kind of like gets the right switches. He makes you think that he doesn't have something on a color, and then he ends up having it. It's a tough. He's just such a tough player to read in those types of scenarios.
mhm. Well, we're at least halfway through the series. Acosta, your thoughts on getting that win? That's definitely going to be a crucial win to have under your cap because that is the first homestand win of the series here, and that puts you at 4-2 with only two games away from the finale. But your thoughts on that one, and how that ultimately played out?
Yeah, it was a long game, but I really don't know what to say about it because I feel like we've like throughout that game we kind of knew what was going on. Uh,
I think for Vapor,
but yeah,
Game 7. Oh, sorry.
no, but yeah, I know I had nothing.
All right. I think for Vapor Game 7, I mean with the first homestand not going the way you were going for, but you having some momentum back on your side. I mean, is there anything you think about going into this one on what you want to do here to try to force this to 4-4 here because this next homestand is going to be 2, so you do get the full homestand, but definitely want to avoid making it 6-2 and wrapping it up here. But any thoughts on that one for Game 7? And for Acosta, it was a
Let's
big to take
see.
this game because I was debating on using my second power
Uh,
play when playing the Red Wild earlier. Interesting. So
yeah,
Costa
still
could have
ends up
used it.
winning the game, which is good because now you have the power play still.
Yeah, definitely could use it up at some point down the line, but technically that would have been a wise play, although ultimately it still worked out for Costa on his end. But because Vapor did have that red +2.
Let me see. So top deck the blue reverse, and he gave me 2 wilds on a +4. That's actually kind of wild. It's crazy. Like I mentioned, like at some point where we've seen series where a +4 or a +2 is just giving the opponent like ridiculous ammo, uh, and we're seeing it again almost. Um, it didn't really lead into the finish, but it's still like it still forced Vapor into like a very uncomfortable situation.
All right, well, Vapor wants to
Wait.
go 14
Oh yeah, yeah, I
again.
guess you can do that.
I think he's falling into the similar doomsday on similar to Captain. Um, and high tier has not worked well for Vapor so far, so again, I'm not a fan of the move, but he's gonna switch to yellow early.
Yeah, I mean, I am thinking about this where we don't see it often where there's an opportunity to constantly go for this same card start. Uh, and it's happened now. This is the second time it's been happening in this tournament. Uh, yeah, you'd figure that I guess on Vapor's perspective, he figured that one of these times on a 14 card start, I'm going to win. But if that doesn't end up happening, you're kicking yourself in the foot here. But yeah, the back and forth on the yellow and green already here.
Alright, keeps it green. I mean, again, Vapor needs this game win here. He tried 14 for the 4th time this series, and he is looking to not go 0-4 on this card start. But
Yeah, in a best of 7, that would be already a game. But
game, set, match.
yeah,
Winning on 14 gets me into his rhythm. Alright, well. I mean, again, Vapor going for the insanity route, as he mentioned, going in the game too. But yeah, I mean, right now we're just running numbers. We're approaching we're approaching the end of turn 6 for both players here, and still numbers. We
oh
get
my
Vapor's
god.
card like a G6, and Vapor is out. So I think that's the 4th time in a row on this 14 card start he's the first to draw. Although I might be actually. No, he is the first. He was the first to draw on all of them. Acosta.
Acosta is what I'm getting from Acosta. Like I said, like he's good at finding these switches where it's forcing Vapor to draw. Um, and they're simple plays, but they can be very effective.
All right, well, cross over to yellow now. No rainbow. We have not seen a rainbow in a while, but we stick with yellow.
Yeah, I would be surprised if Acosta went for the blue 5.
No, I'm gonna be honest here. I mean, the game pace has kind of been. I mean, we're looking at it again, as we mentioned before, through 6 games. The average is about 7 minutes. That's a little bit quicker than I thought it was gonna be, as we get a huge run from Vapor. Good lord. He might. I'm wondering if it's a 7 card finish. Then no, it is not. It's gonna
Oh,
be a 5
actually
card.
not. Okay, I really thought that was game.
Well, I mean, technically, threw in a +2 there, which throws Acosta back a bit, but yeah, I mean, this has been a moderately paced series so far, but with about an average of 7 minutes, I think it's been good. We were talking about earlier how we had concerns this being a long series with us having the D2 later tonight, but I think we might get this wrapped up just in time at least, so we won't have any delays for that, hopefully. But
Yeah. All right, let's see what Acosta does here. I mean, he's got to get the right. He's been sensing Vapor pretty well, but he's got to get the right sense here. He could just play it cool or go aggressive. And I feel like in this type of situation, I feel like it makes sense to do one over the other, but that doesn't always end up being the right play. Okay, ooh, that's an interesting play though. Vapor might have the +4. No, he actually is going for power play. So this is
Vapor
going to be
didn't
a
want to risk it.
wild
I think
finish.
he has a finish here. I don't think he wants to risk it.
A
Wild, and
wild,
there you
yeah.
go. Yeah, didn't want to risk it there. So 3-4. He finally finds his 14. Took 4 attempts, but finally got it to work. Vapor, you mentioned winning on 14 gives you your rhythm here. So now with the rhythm here, potentially your thoughts going into the rest of the series here that you have finally vanquished the 14 card start.
Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, you go for a big run like that. You're either gonna be either gonna be a +4 finish or a wild finish. So I that's what I was sensing. I was hoping Acosta. My guess is that for Acosta, he probably just didn't have any opportunity to give him ammo. Otherwise, he probably would have done so. All he could do is switch out of red.
All right, 15 cards. But yeah, 14 is now gone for good, so we're no more 14 the rest of it, but Acosta Vapor now trying to go for a full send here. I'm not sure if Acosta has any comments on that one. I mean, ultimately Vapor did use the power play there. It's now 1-1 here, and we are going full send here, so I'm curious if Acosta has any comments on that one, anything that maybe could have gone a tad bit differently, or did just that one kind of played out the way it was going to. Curious about
Yeah,
that, but
yeah.
we are gonna have Vapor go 15 for game 8 here, but we'll wait for the start here. Also bumps the average down to 636. Still not in the hour mark yet for the game time here. We are past an hour on the stream though. Tied red cards to play, but that's the reason to use your power plays. Alright. Fair enough.
I see. Okay.
I think he has something else here to guarantee the win. Yeah, I mean sometimes you just gotta do that. Um Even if it's like maybe if it's like the path is a little bit more clear, you sometimes just got to take the safe route on that one. You have two power plays there, so I think for Vapor just going for that one, getting that win on 14 that he said he's been trying for, apparently something that helps his rhythm, might help. But we're going to 15 now. We'll start game 8. We'll see if Vapor can tie this one up here. Yellow reverse opens, so this is your first full send.
Yeah, I think Acosta essentially respecting that power play um from Vapor because I mean yeah, no, that makes perfect sense to use it. There's no reason not to there's no reason to go to say that that wasn't a good power play. So, both still have one left. You know, if Vapor gets this win, it's pretty much a fully even game and yeah, Acosta, he's been in the lead so far, but as I said, Vapor can easily make this even and potentially in his favor as well.
All right, well, we don't stick on the yellow for long here. We go to blue. And ironically, that was from a 0 switch, so 2 zeros off the board instantaneously. But now we were running blue a bit, but Vapor wants to go back to this yellow now, so we've been running 2 colors thus far. And
Oh,
okay,
okay.
well, there we go. Little Clint play there, but it's all good. Green 1. And climbing up the ladder here a little bit, goes up 1, 2, green 2. So, and ultimately the switch is gonna make Vapor draw, so
it
did not get what he was hoping for there.
I feel Vapor just has not been liking green. I don't know if this is at least the second game that he's been drawing on green early.
Well,
Well, okay, well,
neither
hold on.
neither likes green.
Okay, that's wow.
Well, suddenly we're both players drawing on 11. Now it's gonna make this a little interesting because once we break this, we're stuck at a 3-color game then. Costa taking a second to sorry, taking a second to think on this one. Been a long day.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be a long night as well. But ultimately Costa gonna draw. And the draw city is gonna keep going, so gotta wonder if this ultimately leads to one of those longer games here. We'll have to see.
Yeah, both going back to the card start at this point, unless Acosta plays here.
Vapor not feeling confident on this one.
Oh,
Goes for a double.
okay. Double
There's
play.
there's
So
Vapor's card.
the red 6.
Alright, well, Draw City is broken here, but Acosta with the lead now as we go running with red. Again, Costa up 4-3, so a win here will be big. Goes into the
Oh
blue.
my goodness. This Vapor might have been right on his assumption, but he's just gonna have to get out of blue now.
That's actually gonna give him the lead though, or tie it. No, it is gonna
Mm,
give him the lead, and if Acosta's out on red now, and Vapor
yeah,
looking to run this red potentially.
yeah, no, that's exactly what he needed. He's been getting the switches all series, and it's finally getting an opportunity to play his game while Acosta is stuck.
Well, I mean, double red 5 forces another draw of Acosta. Now Vapor gonna try to explore a little bit. Goes into the red 6. Acosta still no switch, so Vapor staying alive here, and that's gonna give him the switch he needs. So suddenly Vapor with the advantage at the moment and looking to tie things up.
Yeah, it's a big advantage too. See if Acosta's got anything lurking though. A +4 would even things up.
Question is, would you want to go for it this early though? That really is the thing, because then it's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Like it's about the timing. That's a big thing with this game. Oh, okay, we're
Mhm.
just gonna go for the +2. Nothing too crazy.
That brings the gap back to 2.5 now. So, and now the gap is back to now the gap is back to 4. So Vapor cancels out that +2. Really did not want anything to do with that. So we are still on yellow here, but gap is still a decent size. Four card gap right now, pretty much 3.5, assuming Acosta has a play. I do say the half because technically it shifts back and forth, assuming the people play their cards. Or the players play their card. I don't know why I said people.
Yeah. See, yeah, I think Acosta has options. It's tough to figure out what you do here.
Ooh, ooh,
Okay,
okay. 4 card run goes in the green. +2 as well. That's gonna
yeah,
give him the lead.
it's another +2 as well. So split ammo. Oh my goodness,
Didn't like it, so it goes into red.
that's a
We've
split
seen
ammo from Acosta because he had yellow +2, green +2, but split that up.
we have
Oh,
seen so many times where a Vapor goes for the wild first and then just gets immediately blocked by an Acosta wild. I think this time though it works out for Vapor because I think both have
uh,
blue. So
yeah, I'm very interested by this. Does Acosta? I feel like Acosta's gotta. He's gonna run this, but I don't. He's got to get the finish sooner or later because Vapor is gonna start. Think he has something planned.
typing it up, this could do it. 7 minutes. This is around the average game length.
Yeah, so
Waiting
3
for the type.
wild.
No, it's only a blue 8. Now what does Vapor do? Yellow 8. Risky switch.
Oh my god.
What does he get out of it?
Austin needs the +4, I think.
Well, he is down to 2. Both players down to 2, I think.
Or he just somehow has yellow. Oh
Oh
my.
no! Another fatal switch. Oh
Okay.
man. Um,
Yeah. You know what? That's Acosta for you. I'm not even like, oh, well, yeah, I guess you had no other choice.
I mean, draw's always an option, but I mean, Vapor saw the path there, wanted to go for it. Ultimately got shut
How?
out of it beforehand. But that was a close game. I mean, Vapor, was there any consideration of maybe going for power play there, or you just kind of play that one out as it was?
Well, yeah, I mean, he couldn't really have done it in a safe way, but I'm sure if he had the opportunity, he probably would have, maybe.
I mean, obviously, we look in hindsight, it wouldn't have worked out, but I'm curious if he was considering it potentially, because we've seen some times where you just kind of have to flip the scoreboard to get the win, when it's especially just like a numbers run. Sometimes that is what you got to do. But, um, yeah, 5-3, Acosta won away here, has the homestand for the next two, but yeah, I mean, Acosta, your thoughts here? You're one away from the win. And all right, well, there you go. Draw City help gave me double yellow +2 and green +2. All right, so both those came from
Uh,
draws, which makes sense. Um,
I see. Yeah, so he had a lot of plus twos, but didn't want to like stack them up. He could have, but he didn't, and saving those actually ends up giving him exactly what he needed at the. Yeah, that was just very ridiculous gameplay from Akasa, to be honest.
mhm. All right, well, I mean, Acosta with a good save there, and now is one away from the win. But he's gonna have the call for game 9, so I don't think, unless someone else has anything to say on that one. Um, Acosta playing at a very high level right now. Yeah, fair enough.
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, if Yoshi got anything else to say on that one, we'll jump to game 9 here.
Yeah, no, I think I think both players know uh what to expect at this point.
I mean, no matter the case,
Yeah,
it's looking to be shaping up to be a very interesting end of the series. But
yeah. We have to keep in mind, it's not over till it's over. Vapor could still get 3 games in a row, and we'll have to see though. Yeah, that probably explains that draw City on green.
Acosta has the game 9 called, no 13, 14, or 15. I'm gonna be curious where he goes here because he can't go high tier, and he lost on
Yeah,
12
and he did
earlier.
lose on 12.
He did lose on 12
Okay.
here, and I'm a little curious on this one because he lost on this earlier, and we saw what happened with Vapor when he went back to the same one. But speaking of Vapor, green
Oh,
6.
Vapor. Wait a minute.
There's your G6. Vapor looking to be powered up here.
Yeah, and if he does, yeah, the thing for Acosta at the very least is that he has the home Oh my
Oh
god,
my
that's
god. And
crazy.
both green 6s are gone right away.
He has the home stand on this game and then the next game, and then Vapor will have game 11 if it goes there. So Acosta not in a horrible spot because if he loses this game, he just knows, all right, maybe I just shouldn't pick 12 again.
You know,
But if it works, it works.
if we go to game 11 here, I wouldn't be surprised if we go for another full send with how Vapor was so insistent on the 14. Which I
That's
don't know if
true.
that's necessarily the call in my opinion, but we'll have to see because we're not there yet. Vapor has to win these next 2 games to even get there. But yeah, haven't really seen any low tier yet, which I mean is not super surprising. But I mean, with the best of 11, I'm surprised someone hasn't like at least tried it, like a 7 maybe. But
Yeah, it's only because, the players are running back the numbers, and we probably would have had a single digit card start if it weren't for that. But um still very very entertaining game series as
that's
Vapor
another
starts to draw.
that's another game where Vapor's the first to draw there. That's just kind of been a trend this series so far. Um, Costa able to roll on yellow here. Vapor looking for a switch out. And you go again with
Yeah,
both
let's
players having
see.
a power play. We're in definitely a territory where Uh,
Oh boy.
could be dangerous.
+2 though. Vapor always with the saving something.
+2, blue 2. I mean, again, Vapor with after getting the switch to blue, able to throw some cards sway, and that actually is going to
Oh
have
my.
Acosta draw. So ultimately, maybe a bit of a misstep there from Acosta. Was hoping for a different result and didn't get it. Does get a top deck blue
Yeah,
nine though.
there's one of two things I see with that play. With that
I like
draw.
this. I like the 6 there. We've seen a lot of 6s early on. Trying to force
Yeah.
another draw here.
I'm thinking for Acosta, he either had like an ammo run, but now that he got +2 to kind of stopped it, and he doesn't want to use it, or he just ran out of blue. Here we go with the yellow wild. I don't really know. Yeah,
Vapor
okay,
saying absolutely not. Goes into the red with the +4.
Vapor preventing that entirely. Like I said, when he has the ammo, he knows how to save them in a way where it's it kind of like evens the game out at worst, or it just leads into a finish. So Vapor actually looking pretty good. Even if he doesn't have a clear path, Acosta still has like 10 cards. We don't know now. Like Acosta could give Vapor ammo, but maybe that's what he wants. It's definitely a like it's cat and mouse here. We're seeing back and forth.
Well, keeps it rolling here. Red 7. Vapor looking to steal this one, and yes, he will.
Oh, well
410.
then, okay.
4-card finish. Vapor's still alive in this series. It is 5-4. 412 actually. Okay. Got
Dude,
another
that's
2
crazy.
plus 4s there, but I mean, pretty much besides that one draw on the yellow, ran plan A there. Well, 2 draws actually on the yellow, my mistake. But Vapor, that gives you some life here. Your thoughts on that one, and then for Acosta, I mean, the 12 didn't work out again, and now that I guess that kind of makes it interesting where you go for game 10 here, with your last homestand. But your thoughts on that one and just kind of where your head's at going to game 10. And we'll start with Vapor. Didn't want to lose that game with 2 plus 4s. That would have been a missed opportunity. Yeah, for sure. Especially on the start. So you don't really necessarily want that, but yeah, we'll see what Acosta has to say. I mean, that was definitely a good hand from Vapor, but again, we have been talking about this. The repeated card starts are just not really working in this series. And that's another one we just saw right there, because that's Vapor's second win on 12. Um,
Yeah, I'm guessing Acosta didn't have much at that point.
Alright, well, Acosta doesn't have much to say on that one, but alright, if he doesn't have much to say, we'll go to game 10. I'm really curious where he goes here. And we saw in this first homestand, he went 12, 10, 13. Well, he can't go 13, but we saw 12, 10 the first homestand. This one started with a 12. Um,
Yeah.
I guess I'm just curious what's going to happen here, because this could be a difference maker, to say the least.
Yeah, I think it's tough because you kind of need this is his last his last chance for him to pick a card start to give him uh, a good opportunity to win. It's kind of hard to find it though because he's the top 3 card starts have been used up and he's been losing on 12. It's kind of struggle. He kind of has to pick something and yeah, he picks 11. I don't know if how that's going to pan out, but it's better than picking 12, I think.
I think it's better than 12 and 10. So I don't dislike this call. Again, I think for Acosta, maybe you could go for a risk and go for something lower. I'm not necessarily saying like a no send, but I think maybe trying the 7 or 8 maybe to see what happens with that, since you technically have a game buffer may not have been a bad idea, because I feel like unless something changes, I feel like Vapor's game 11 pick is, assuming the trend continues, will be pretty clear. But Costa's gonna go with 11 here. We start off with blue. No one jumped on the +2. Also, I forgot to mention that that was a special card start.
Yeah.
But
Oh boy.
ooh, draw didn't work there. Yeah. So again, roughly 25 minutes until our D2 action begins. Depending on how long this goes, it might be a slight delay, but I mean, based off the pace of this one, I don't think it'd be too long. But switch the yellow, breaks free Vapor, or breaks free Acosta, not Vapor. Vapor is on a roll at the moment. For trying to force this game 11 here and make the comeback after being down 3-0 at one point. And not leading a single time in this series. Vapor has not led once this entire series, Yoshi, and he might be getting close to forcing a game 11.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you only really need to get the lead to win the series sometimes. Uh, that's kind of what Vapor has to do. But yeah, Acosta, got to think about his moves here, knowing that, you have this game. If you don't win, there's still one game to win. And but yeah, running out of options here as he had the early draw and now has got to figure out how can he get the win off this.
I think the thing also for Vapor here, he has the lead at the moment. Like, does he try to save the power play into that game 11, or does he go for it here to ensure it? Because, I mean, that this does become a situation, because, I mean, if you use it here, you at least, in theory, secure your win. But, like, you're not going to have it game 11. You have to play that one clean. But at the same time, also, it's like you could have an opportunity there, and it kind of, like, whooshes away. And then the series ends there, and you're left having to carry that one home. But all right, well,
Plus
green
two.
+2 is actually going to give Acosta the lead now, so Vapor no longer out in front. Guess the question now is, where does he go from here? And it's a 4-card
Oh
run there,
my,
so green +2 as well.
an
And we are
all
sticking with
green
green.
run. See, I don't even know what you do if you're Costa. Um,
Hope and pray. Hope and pray. Also, you hope you have cards, I guess, fight back also. But I mean, again, but that's kind of brings up a point I brought similar because earlier, because like if you have like a +4 or something, you could use it, but then your pathway with that is just gone. And that could make your finish much more difficult, or you could take the risk and go for
yeah,
it. Okay,
okay,
so
going for
green skip yellow. Alright.
wow, it does work. Let me see. Yeah, that does make sense. We saw Vapor switch out of green or yellow earlier, but now it comes down to the minefield of numbers. He's got to avoid that.
Subordinate so far. Yellow 7. Now we're getting into danger territory. Guess to switch
Okay, red
there.
7
Costa didn't really have much red earlier, but we've seen a little bit of drawing from him. Some extra cards thrown into the pile for him.
does play the red 0.
Vapor power
Yeah, doesn't
plays,
want
doesn't want to
to.
take a risk. So no power
Okay,
play
yep.
going into game 11 if he does finish it here.
We are going into that last game no matter what.
Alright, so Vapor goes for the
Good
power play to
play.
ensure game 11, but he's going to have to finish it clean.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
fair enough.
double Uno log there. We do pass the hour mark there, but Vapor, I mean, you said gotta have it there. Your thoughts just going for the power play there just to at least secure the win. And what game 11 is gonna mean for you, because technically you do have the card start here, but no power play while Acosta does have his, so slight advantage for Acosta there, but it's gonna be an interesting game 11 here. Can't lose that game and need to force something in order to try to get a W. Can't take any chances there. All right, fair enough. Acosta, I mean, all comes down to this. Were you close to the finish there? Or was it just kind of a bit of a stray hand towards the end and thoughts going into game 11 here? With it all on the line at this point. Man, I mean, this has been quite the series, and we are going to game 11 to kick things off for the Final Four.
Yeah,
But
this is ridiculous. I mean, I think you look at this and sometimes yeah, you get Vapor got that number he needed and just allowing himself to power play.
Costa said couldn't do much
Ooh,
but
so he
drain
did
the
have
power play.
reds.
Had reds, okay.
So yeah, I mean
Technically,
that could have led to the finish there.
well, technically he could have power played, still, but yeah, I don't know. I think Faber just wanted to try to do the overtake there towards the end. But 4:08 on that one. I'm pretty sure that was the quickest game so far. Yeah. There's been 2 other 4-minute games, but yeah, well, this is it. Game 11, winner goes to the Doomsday finale. Loser is done for the regular season. Vapor has the call. He's gonna go for the full send, which we have seen the lack of success with going back on card starts. So taking a risk here, but I mean for Vapor, it's old habits die hard. So full send to end it and yellow reverse to kick things off. Yoshi, your thoughts going into this final game?
Yeah, it's been a series where all card starts have been 10 or more. It's been a wild ride, you know. We thought Vapor was not feeling good after the first 3 games, but I knew deep down that it was not gonna that didn't mean anything as we go into this last game. And yes, he still has a disadvantage because Casa does have power play and he does not. But that, you know, but if Vapor has a decent enough hand to force that power play out, the game evens right back up. So that's really all Vapor needs to bank on, just a good enough hand where it forces Acosta into something, you know. And this is something that I tried to apply against Captain, but he knew better. We'll see if Acosta knows better in this game to use his power play the way that he wants to.
All right, well, that double is going to give Acosta the possession arrow right now. So, I mean, again, the biggest thing for Vapor is he needs to be the one in the lead and in control of this one, because if he loses the lead, then it becomes super uncertain, especially with Acosta having the power play and him not having it. Get a ditto on the green 7 here. We've seen so many times in this series also Vapor being the first one to draw. I think it's another thing he's just gotta hope that does not happen this time, because there's not gonna be another game after this. This is it. So
Red
red
9.
9. Still trying to find his way, typing up maybe a bit of a run incoming on this red switch. No, just a red
Okay, the red
4.
4.
I mean, again, we're still tied, but with that double play Acosta had earlier, he has the advantage here. Again, you never really know what you're gonna get here. But I mean, for Vapor, hoping he can pull this one out, make it back-to-back finales. Acosta going back to the red 9. Red 0 there. And, I mean, for Yoshi, I mean, for Acosta, I think the win condition here is pretty simple. For Vapor, it might be a little bit more unclear. But your thoughts just kind of right now where we're at, where everyone's just kind of rolling down on the numbers here, and just kind of the feelings both players have to have.
Yeah.
Oh my god, no way. Oh
Okay,
my
okay.
god. Wait a second. Vapor with a 4-card front. Sorry to break you off, but a +2. Okay, so that suddenly changes everything. But I mean, your thoughts now, Yoshi, after that.
Yeah, you know, Vapor's a fast typer. I think if he had a large run, he would have probably won and Costa wouldn't have had time to power play. But he puts himself in a position where, like I said, it's pressuring him. Like he has power play and we don't know what his hand is, and he's gonna try his best not to reveal it. And I feel like in a scenario like this, you have to be on point with with the moves you make, because Vapor could be. Oh, okay, yeah. See, and yeah, and Acosta needs so those cards like those +2s just to set him back a little bit, making sure that he can't win just yet, because he doesn't want to use power play. He wants it to win the game as he keeps going on yellow now.
I think the biggest thing also is there's going to be a situation where Acosta has to use it defensively, and that's going to be a +4 there. Vapor is really trying to finish this one out. But is there
Now,
going to be a
yeah, that's
situation where Acosta has to use it defensively and it ultimately does not lead to a finish?
yeah, that's an aggressive +4, but that could either mean that he has more in the tank, or he's just trying to set Acosta back far enough that he can't power play offensively. And either way, it's a pretty this is the move you want. This is the good move to make. But yeah, I think he was thinking that he doesn't want Acosta to use power play offensively. That's his biggest goal. Even if he runs out of ammo, he can at least make it tough for Acosta to figure out what to do.
Alright, well, Vapor, again, just trying to do everything he can to maintain that lead, even if it means kind of, throwing out some of his ammo here and there, but, again, I'll quickly do that one, but, yeah, again, interesting comment from Vapor on that one. What does Acosta do now here, because Vapor is low. He could ultimately draw, but again, you don't really know, especially like when it's still not a lot of cards have been played. I mean, we're just getting close to 6 minutes here, but a decent chunk of this has been just kind of sitting here and thinking.
Yeah, this is a big moment. I don't really know what Acosta can do. I mean, it's tough because you almost because you wish you could probably just play it cool, but you don't know if that's just going to lead into Vapor winning the series. Oh my god.
Wild red. These wilds have times have come in clutch for Acosta here. Will the same happen here? I, I don't know what you're talking about, Vapor, at all.
The game might be over though. That's the thing.
We do not get that. Oh my god,
Yeah.
it's over. But he messed up the typing, but I mean, with it being a chain, there's not going to be an
Well,
opportunity
yeah,
to power play as long as he
Acosta
types it
can't
right.
power play though.
That's it. Wow. Vapor survives and moves into the Doomsday finale, just becomes the third player in D1 history to make back-to-back finales, 5th overall in the league. Wow, okay, what a series that was. And Vapor, I mean, did not lead at all until the very last game. Again, Vapor, I don't know what you're talking about there. We don't need any of that, but besides that, Vapor, your thoughts
Yeah, no,
on
I knew what he was talking about. Yeah.
okay. Well, Vapor, you got the 15. That's the most ever in either division. Your thoughts on that one, because it was looking very dire at points for you, but your thoughts getting the win there, fighting through some of the distractions that you had, and just making it back to the Doomsday finale in your own tournament as well, because this was the theme you picked. But your thoughts getting the win here and finding a way through into the finale for the second straight tournament.
Um, you know, this just hit me. This is starting to give what My Hill did in D2. Vapor might go for the two tournament wins in the last two tournaments of this regular season, just like My Hill did in D2.
I mean, potentially. I feel like with 15 wins, Vapor, in my opinion, would be number one. But of course, I'm not the only one making a list, so we'll see. But I mean, what a showing from Vapor here. But Vapor, I mean, your thoughts on getting the 15 wins and making it back to the Doomsday finale?
I think
And let's.
okay, my guess is that Acosta just didn't have any ammo to give him. All he had was the wilds. Like it's funny, like you see you see like the battle of like +4s and wilds. The problem is, uh, you can't with the hands with wilds, you can't really give ammo, and the +4s can kind of just deny wilds entirely to where you're too late and the game's over. It's unfortunate. I am assuming for Acosta he didn't have much, at least compared to a Vapor there. And yeah, like I said, in a scenario when you're down on a power play, the best thing you can get is a decent hand, and he got more than that. Uh, so yeah, that's just tough for Acosta. I mean, but then again, I feel like he's gonna be happy with how he did. Oh,
All
I
right.
see.
Well,
So
I mean, he had the +2 connection there, but I mean, besides that, you had I mean, something stranded on a bit stranded on the yellow there. I mean, the blue is really all you got, but ultimately it was not gonna matter with the +4. But hold, wait a second. Actually, no, yeah, no blue. Needed red or green.
yeah, that's why you tried the red wild. It makes sense.
Yeah, but ultimately, I mean, Acosta, your thoughts. I mean, you gave one hell of a fight. We're playing phenomenally. This has been some of the best Uno I've seen you play, in MRE. But your thoughts, just getting to this point here, your first career Final Four, ways you build off this, and I mean, I would say Acosta has a good shot at making Super League. Again, nothing's necessarily confirmed, but I think he's got the ingredients needed to get one of those 16 spots. So, I mean, Acosta. Just any final thoughts on? Oh, all right. Acosta, any final thoughts on just the series here? What you take away from this, and just kind of this surge you've been on the last few tournaments, to really just kind of revitalize your career at this point. And we'll see what Costa says. I know Vapor's typing. Just his thoughts on the series. Because, I mean, again, I mentioned it before. Vapor was down the entire series until game 11, so was really fighting from behind.
Hmm.
Was down 3-0 at one point, so it was looking bad for Vapor. But ultimately, he did find a way. And again, he found a way, even though he lost 3 times on 14, 1 of 4 on 14. But again, some of the captain in the round of 16, he just somehow made it work. But yeah, we are having a discussion here. We'll ignore that. There's been some controversy with the list stuff. Um, but yeah, we all right. So I mean, this is gonna be his post game comment here. Haseem played the best damn game of his career, and I have to give him flowers for that. Um, but not to be denied, honestly, I think today I learned positivity is the biggest weapon you can have in this league. Once I shifted my mindset from being pissed, from upset about the day and how much I had hurt and things cannot control, then I had more success. Even though did get luckier, I'm into my second finale of the year. It's huge for me, and I'm super excited for another opportunity, another title. Good game to Acosta, and on to the next. Um, uh, yeah. Acosta, any final thoughts before we wrap this one up? Since we do need to get to D2 here. Um. We're gonna just quickly look at the bracket here while Acosta's typing, but Vapor gets the win 6-5. And yeah, 6-5 on that one. Vapor moves into his second straight finale. And Acosta, first career Final Four, ultimately did not get the win here, but it's still an incredible performance from him. He'll play in the third place game, hoping to get at least a bronze there, but what a showing from both players here. As really, I mean, technically, Vapor Acosta got out to an early lead, but Vapor fought back from there. It was a back and forth, but ultimately, one side of the Doomsday finale is set. The other will be determined on Saturday at 3 p.m. with Andy and Nam. Andy making their first career Final Four. Nam in their first of the season. And they're looking for their second finale. I don't think Acosta is typing anymore. So he might just have a
No,
post
he's
game
not.
comment. But I mean, Yoshi, any final thoughts here? We're going to be jumping over to the LCQ in just a second, so we'll be right back with you with some more MRU Uno action. But your final thoughts on this game, as we that is game 1 of 3. That is match 1 of 3 of the night. But your final thoughts on this game?
It's for Acosta, it's tough when you have a good lead and then it just does, and you don't end up winning the series. You almost feel like you were kind of like, yeah, you were like the win. You had the win in your hands, and it was just taken away from you. But I feel like Uno, for one, that's just how Uno is. But also, it's something where it's where like you at least got as far as you did. Like there's still a lot to be positive about um with this run. And this match as a whole. I mean, playing against a player with who previously had 14 wins on the season. I mean, playing him to game 11 is pretty remarkable. We've seen Vapor just go on an absolute tear up until this point. I mean, you have to think about that. Like, this is the first game that Vapor's had it close against someone. So really gotta give Acosta his props there. I'm curious to see how he does in Super League. Like I said, he's definitely one of the more unique players in terms of style. Um, and I feel like if he does make it, he's gonna be a player to watch out for, maybe like a dark horse. But yeah, Vapor just wanting to keep this run going, kind of like how My Hail did it, but this will be a lot more impressive for sure because it's D1. Not to discredit My Hail, of course, but yeah, Vapor. I mean, I've seen him make
I mean,
comebacks like this before. He's done it again. He was gonna play Nam or Andy, and I feel like he knows those two players at least a decent amount. So this could definitely be his tournament to win if, depending on how the cards go. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Vapor just is playing ridiculous. When he gets just those openings, he looks like an unstoppable player for sure.
all right, well, again, Acosta, final comments. Not the way I wanted to end my run like that with bad coffee in my mouth. Just felt amazing to get far into this tournament, and then he'll get his quote later today. But that'll do it for us. Again, there's we'll go back to the bracket here. Congratulations to Vapor on the win. CPU prediction 6-4, ended up being 6-5. But got one more matchup in the Doomsday in the final 4 here to fill out the Doomsday finale. It'll be Andy or Nam. That will be determined on Saturday at 3 p.m. But we're going to be right back with you with some D2 action with the LCQ. It's going to be Joao and Not Short for one of the last 2 spots into the D2 championship. Make sure you stay with us here. We'll be right back with more MRU Uno action. But on behalf of the comm team, our players, and my co-commentator Yoshi, who will be joining me in just a second. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you stick around for some D2 action here, as we're about to get underway with that in about 10 minutes. But until then, take care, everyone, and we'll see you in a bit.
This has been a presentation of MRE Uno Division 1.